I think that for most of us, we hoped that when we saw that tweet in late November, that this was a passing fancy of the president and he would move on to another issue. What we have seen since then is a recommitment of the president to tariffs, in particular, most recently, his commitment to set up an office in order to collect these tariffs from Canada and other countries around the world. We take this threat very, very seriously. This is a direct economic threat to BC families. It is an attack on families in our province. It is an attack on Canadians. There are consequences for Americans as well that will also be devastating for them around affordability and loss of employment. It goes in both directions, but our commitment is to British Columbians. And our number one priority is ensuring that we are prepared as a province for these tariffs, that we are responding in a way that protects families and ensures that we minimize the risk of any future attack like this from the United States. This is the focus of the mandate letters that I have sent to each of my cabinet ministers, outlining to them a number of key steps that I want them to take as part of our overall provincial strategy to respond. In particular, I have asked every cabinet minister to review programs within their ministry to ensure that we are not wasting money on administration that should go to frontline services, to ensure that our programs that we have in place are responsive to this new global environment, that we are strengthening our provincial economy and focusing on growth so that we can support families with good paying jobs, even in this time of economic threat. There are three key parts to our response to these tariffs. The first is we will respond. We are fully supporting, as I did yesterday around the table with premiers, all tools available to the federal government to respond to the United States and retaliate against these unfair, unnecessary, unjustified, and costly tariffs for people across North America. As part of our response in British Columbia, we are reviewing non-tariff measures that may be available for British Columbia to reinforce how intertied we are between the United States and Canada and how our shared prosperity is on the line here. We will do that work in partnership with the federal government and with other provinces to ensure a coordinated Team Canada response. We will also be active participants in the trade mission, the tariff mission, to Washington, D.C., with all premiers to make our case directly to decision makers on Capitol Hill in the United States. And individual ministers, as well as myself, have been reaching out to our friends south of the border, and they are our friends. They are our family, people who we have worked with for years in Western states, governors, business leaders, to ensure that they understand the consequences of these decisions for their states, for their people, and for their economy. The second component of our response to this threat is to strengthen our provincial economy. You'll see that throughout the mandate letters. Accelerate permitting. Ensure that we are using our natural advantages both as our position on the Pacific Ocean, but also as the home to critical minerals and metals that are needed around the world to strengthen our economy and expedite our ability to get them out of the ground and to market in ways that support families. In addition, we are deepening our partnerships across Canada, currently working with the province of Alberta to remove internal trade barriers, first around wine, but also around electricity and energy. We will be pushing across Canada to remove internal trade barriers so we're stronger as a country. And perhaps we can turn this threat into an opportunity for all Canadians to increase our prosperity and reduce our dependence on the United States. The final piece of our response is to diversify. We will be supporting the federal government in efforts to partner with other affected countries around the world. These tariffs are proposed not just against Canada, but against countries around the world. We will partner with those countries and work with them to respond and also to deepen our relationships with them. We have trade relationships, strong trade relationships across the Pacific with many different countries. And this is an opportunity for us to deepen and strengthen those relationships and reduce our dependence on the United States. Look, I know right now the numbers that the finance minister laid out, the impact on British Columbia looks very scary for many families across British Columbia and across the country. But I firmly believe that we have everything that we need in this province to succeed. We have the people with the skills. We have the resources. we have the geography to take this threat and turn it into an opportunity to grow prosperity for everyone in this province and everybody in this country. British Columbia will lead the way in responding to these tariffs and ensuring that our people are protected. Sharing this information with you is not to scare you. It is to reassure you that we understand the gravity of the threat to you and to your family, that our government is focused to ensure that we are protecting you and that we are responding to this threat with everything that we have.